Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of MBTV News, sometimes known and certainly formerly known as Metaworld News, but we like to keep it a bit sort of succinct and crisp these days, don't we? We look at all the happenings going on in the world of virtual worlds and immersive spaces online, plus some of the new technology, sort of haptics and things that enable us to experience those worlds and places in enhanced manners, shall we say. Everything ranging from contact lenses to helmets, as if. But then on the way there, you've got boots, you've got gloves, you've got belts, you've got rings on your fingers, you've got lots of stuff that can help you do stuff. And I forget what it is. There's something else come up today which will
Yeah,
also help you do
right.
that stuff. Uh, Um,
Wristbands.
no, wristbands are a good one too. No,
Hmm.
there's a new one that I think is coming up in the links. I got a bit, in fact, no, I've got it's on film too. Ironically, I forget what it is. Anyway, we'll get to it very shortly. We'll get to it very shortly indeed. Okay, I should have mentioned before we started. You probably don't know this if you're watching a replay. It's the 16th of April, which is a Sunday when we're actually live. But the links we're including are obviously the highlights for the week ending the 16th of April. My name is Mal Burns. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/MALBURNS, squashed inevitably. And all the links there include all the links I'm going to be mentioning on the show, but much more besides. So you can follow me and get links there if you want to follow up any of the things we mentioned. Joining me in the studio here is none other than James Loud. James, not so loud.
Yeah.
Sorry, James Loud. Yes, James Atlloud,
Thanks,
uh,
Mal.
renowned for being the knob fiddler, and
Okay.
he fiddles with those knobs live for your delectation, folks, mixing the audio knob and the video knob and the desktop knob and the camera settings knobs. Yes,
Yeah, and
all
and
of
the
the
and the
knobs.
howling ghost snob.
And the hole and ghost knob. Yes,
Right.
exactly. Just too many knobs to play with.
Oh,
But
truly.
never mind. Never mind. Keeps me happy, that's for sure. And you'll be pleased to know that he is seated. He likes being seated. Although usually he likes being seated in the most ridiculous places imaginable. Rather like your friendly local pussycat, who seems to really get anywhere, anytime, for no conceivable reason at all. Isn't that
Hmm.
right, James?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
guess with cats, it's territorial. I don't know if I'm
yeah.
territorial, but
No, probably not. I'm actually surprised you agreed with me. So there we go. Let's get on with the show, folks. Anyway, this is going to be quite a short show today because, oddly enough, all our different categories are rather sparse this week. But it means I don't need to do the Motor Mouse business too much. Right, nice graphic there. I always like to find a nice sort of high-techy looking graphic to get us into play, and the headline that went with that is not too bad at all. Some people will say that reality is inching closer to the metaverse than we ever thought, but it depends how you look at it. You know, right way up, upside down, or inside out. Who cares? What else have we got? Oh, yes, this is a photograph of Ken Bai, good old Voices of VR, delivering his talk called Landscape of Exile Moral Dilemmas and Ethical Considerations at Lava Virtual, which was yet another conference being held this week. This one was over in Paris here in Europe. Um, actually, in fact, I think Kent was probably the only English language notable that it was there, but it's hard to tell. There weren't really any live videos floating around. So various photos like this, but hopefully videos at a later point. Hopefully not in French. Right, this is a book. This is a book. It is. Yes, indeed, it's a book. Um, Hamlet Orr, or Father James Orr, as he's known, New World Notes, and used to be embedded with Second Life as a journalist. This is a new book. It came out. Well, I think you can order it this week. I don't think you get it delivered to next week. But you know, it's out. It's now from. You can't see at the bottom, but it's Wiley at the publishers, Wiley, and yeah, sort of, fairly innocuous sort of illustration there on the cover, but nothing wrong with it. From Snow Crash and Second Life to a virtual world worth fighting for. So I haven't read it, but I assume Hamlet will appreciate the plug. Put it that way. that way. And I look forward to reading it if I can get hold of a copy at some point. Right. And oh yeah, just more adverts coming out all the while for the forthcoming Awe conference, which isn't actually till May, but there again we're in April now, so May isn't far away. They're actually making a point that everything to do with their conference this year is carbon neutral, from from everything. And they're giving you a little there for awexr.com/sustainability. Yeah, it's ramming the message home, but good on them for that. Right, okay, so pictures out the way. I'm going to some of the web pages now. I do have a feed at for Metaworld at least at Mastodon, so Metaworld at Mastodon Social, and I tend to put videos, longer form videos there anyway, so they're all saved in a separate sort of video place. And there weren't that many this week. Unfortunately, our friends at Upload VR or Download VR or whatever, one's the site and one's the video. I can never remember which way around they go. Still not back, I'm afraid. What's this? Ian Hamilton actually did do one today, but it was simply a review of a game. It wasn't it wasn't their usual lovely gossip. So I don't know what's happening there, but I went to their actual website to have a peek actually, and there's loads of stuff, all their back shows and everything else, but very little text, and let alone anything to say, sorry, we're down at the moment with this program or whatever. So best of luck to them. Hopefully they're coming back. They are a favourite listen, especially for James, of course.
Yep.
So you must be going through withdrawal symptoms.
Not for media consumption, Mal. I have many media sources to consume.
Yeah, I know. Same with me. If one ain't there, it's actually probably a relief. It means I can get to the next one quicker.
That's right.
Right. Okay. But one that did pop up this weekend, of course, is Charlie Fink's program with Roni Abovitz and, of course, Ted Schilowitz, who is in hospital with a respiratory problem. So he was live on voice only. I've got to show you this. Yeah, it's rather a shame. Of course, we always have to put up with their bloody sponsors. Here we go.
So it's kind of like,
this is episode 144. Last week I soloed for 5 minutes and I felt like I was totally exposed.
I just said there's no reason to like hide this or not admit what's going on, because my voice will be short and it'll be challenging. But let's put it this way: I am way better than I was a couple of days ago, and I was in full respiratory distress. Had to be brought into the ER.
Right, okay. Well, my sympathies. I know what that's like, actually. So, it's bad enough if you come on the show croaking. So there you go. Yeah. What do we have here? This is the State of the Story Summit. Oh, yeah, this was this morning too. Marketing in the Metaverse and Immersive Experiences. It's I don't really know who these people are actually, but it was just a sort of interesting sort of chat. Michael Horowitz, I should know him, but oh yeah, that's no, that's this is part of it. It's all a bit weird at the beginning, but they're plugging the event where they filmed it. Really, there we go.
Sammy is an award-winning musician, music producer, and is Vinci.
It's a little quiet, Mal. Is that?
He's considered a pioneer in the field of the metaverse.
Good point.
And as a digital model.
Oh, where's it going?
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's we are at full force blast, as it were.
Okay.
Performs virtually in the metaverse. Sammy, welcome. You're in far better shape.
Anyway, we're not here to actually watch that, but it's really just to tell you it's there. I'm not sure if you can get it here, or you can use your own volume controls.
Right.
If you watch it or boost it. You can get, I don't know where, I don't think I've got it on the Mac. I've got it on Windows. There's a little widget that you can have in your tray that sort of amplifies the volume by twice. In the event that something is so low you can't hear it, but wouldn't rely on the audio file experience there. Okay, Jesse from he's done a little promo this week for exploring the metaverse with your friends in a platform called Lighthouse. Jesse, I know from OMI every week, and there he is. Jesse Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Metaverse, he's also sort of known.
Is he going to say
same problem here. The volume is
inaudible to
Yeah.
me.
I'm on the right headset. Pardon me, folks. I'm just loading my sound settings here. Just on the off chance. Play sound, play output. Output volume is as full as it can possibly be. Yep, don't ask me, but it must just be 2 low volume YouTubes in a row.
There he sings. All right.
Yeah, it's getting gets a bit louder for his theme tune.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, avoiding a dystopian metaverse, of course. This is came across this. This is an interesting question, if not even the program itself.
Welcome
Is
to Metaverse Demystified. Unlike most podcasts, we're going to keep it short and sweet because we're going to go jump right into a conversation about keeping the metaverse free. One thing, if you're watching the video version, we got Sky Jellies in the background just to show off a few things we're doing. But we're going to have a really focused, direct discussion on what makes or how we can make the metaverse a place of freedom. I'd like to begin by framing the discussion.
oops. So, well, you get the idea. All right, and finally, digital economies in the metaverse. That's a broadcast this week from Building the Open Metaverse. So this is normally every week these days. So, yeah, another sort of Zoom-like recording call.
On Building the Open Metaverse. Metaverse like a new country, and when you think about the 4 factors of productions, they are land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship, and which is very important to create something. Like in the real world, you need those 4 factors.
Welcome to Building the Open Metaverse, where technology experts discuss how the community is building the open metaverse together. Hosted by Patrick Cozy from Cesium and Mark Petit from Epic Games.
Hello, my name is Mark Petit from Epic Games.
That got louder.
From Cesium.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick. How are you?
Hey, Mark. I'm doing well. I know the economy is in a lot of people's minds.
Okay, well, you can see what's happening there. Yes, I did manage to boost our volume here a little bit. I switched an amplifier on the speakers, which I don't normally need, but then my sound is now coming through an amplifier. So just wait till I play some of the offline videos and blast me out of the room. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the stuff at Mastodon, and yeah, you'll find all those links named as they are here on my Twitter feed anyway. But if you follow me on Mastodon, or at least the Metaworld Mastodon, you will get them here as well. So, coming back to the reading list in general, I'm going to move right up here, and I've got some things in a bit of a mess here. So I've got 3 pieces that I don't need for the moment. So here we are. 4th one down is the beginning one, and guess where we begin? Cue the music. See, that's the Skull Ghost, sounding more like a wolf, and me sounding more like Jimmy Savile, so I better not do that again. Right, the 300th week. It's the 300th week peak for Exile, in the 300 Exile week peak. Oh, God. It's getting as bad as, what's his name? Voices of VR. Oh, no, he's into the thousands.
Yeah.
Anyway, subjects include Meta innovating imaging segmentation, Chrome implementing web GPU, and more, of course. Now, this is published beginning of the week, April 11th. It's usually on Monday or Tuesday, quite often, depending on your time zone, I guess. Every week, and it's a roundup. So in fact, this is not looking at the roundup of the week gone by for us, but the week gone by before that. But sometimes includes things I didn't get on last week's show, or were off my radar anyway. So it's always good to have these roundup sites. They're my favourites, really, to make sure I've never missed something. Yeah, top news of the week. I don't necessarily agree that everything said here as top news of the week is top at all, especially when it's got a 4-letter it's got a 4-letter word in the headline here. So really can't expect me to promote that, can you? Language. Okay. Chrome shipped web GPU. It's a plugin in Chrome that enhances the web worlds and stuff like that. GPU's graphics processor unit or something. I can't remember actually, but basically it's the graphical API anyway. And it's in Chrome 113, which is actually came out midweek, and I think my own browser, Vivaldi, which is based on Chrome, updated yesterday, and I think most of the other Chrome-based browsers, sort of replenish update themselves with the Chrome engine, within a couple of days of an actual Chrome release. Mojo Vision have raised money, gosh golly, quite a lot of money. Restructuring themselves to focus on displays, has developed a proprietary high-performance quantum dot technology. Oh God, how many more names do we need for pixels? This is a very efficient RGB pixel, but it's still pixels. I know the more pixels there are, the best, and the more balanced. There's obviously a lot of things that come into this, but giving something a new name, high performance quantum dot technology, leaves me feeling a bit blank, really.
Does a pixel exist until it's displayed?
You doing a Schrodinger's cat thing on
I have. That's right.
This one,
because that's the display of a pixel, right? So
yeah,
there are such a variety of ways of displaying pixels, but if it's not displayed, does it exist? If a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, does it make a sound?
Probably not. Probably not. On the other hand, you could argue, is it the same pixel that exists on a different display?
Oh, that's a very open simulator question.
Yes, it is indeed. Nothing like turning questions on their head, is there? Right. Okay. And we've got efficient blue micro LED devices at something scale, high efficiency quantum dotting for red and green. What about the blue? High brightness at 1 million plus nits. When you called somebody a nit back in my school days, you were calling them a silly person,
right?
So do I really want 1 in a million plus nits on my monitor? I don't know. This is a bit odd. CMOS backplane, wafer to wafer bonding, custom micro lens optics. Gosh, they are for themselves, aren't they? Well, I got to admit, this is Tony Padillo's report, but I guess he's reading it off a press release or something. Another world called Other Side from Yuga Labs, Web3 based world, in fact. They claim they've got 7,000 people connected together in that world. And it's in testing mode, so apparently there's 7,000 people in a test by the look of it. And hang on, 7,000 can become concurrent users in the same space. And there is a parallel hold, so VR chat supports up to 40, technically up to 80. Second Life, for example, can support about 50, but you're in lag hell. And OpenSim here can, you don't really want more than 50 or 60 if you're going to, well, it depends on the server, and there are many different servers here, of course, but so can't quite reach 7,000 concurrent users, so I have to keep an eye on that one. Of course, sometimes some people say they've done a test with 7,000 units, and every avatar is actually a single pixel. And of course, we don't know where they even exist, because until they're on screen, we have to ask. Sorry, James.
Yep. No, I started it. That's fine.
You started it, indeed you did. Right, realistic expectations for the Apple headset. Well, everything there is a rumor, but of course newsworthy of a mention. Gosh golly, I keep seeing the same rough pictures, and none of them have come from Apple. So, but we are approaching a Tim Cook talk, which may include the thing. Sorry about the extra bells going off here today. I've got a notification widget, and I don't know where it is or what it is, but it does a bell, and it's not on the hour always, so something's happening. And it's not under Apple's control.
That's not a real life bell?
No,
it's a computer bell. Okay.
It's coming out the speakers. Yeah, it's coming out the speakers. So would it were a real life bell? or if it was something on, Alexa or Google or something which I could isolate and so.
Right,
Anyway,
right.
Metaverse Fashion Week has already taken place, of course, and this is over a week ago. But various things online, so he's got a few links there, especially the Tommy Hilfiger stuff, which was quite a lot. Livecast is making VR videos volumetric. Alchemy Labs, hand tracking can make VR mainstream, etc., etc. I'm reading somebody else's blog here, so I'm not going to go down it. But if you want the roundup of basically the week before last and the beginning of this week, always worth checking out scarghost.com. Let's start again, shall we? SKARREDJHOST.com. I thought I could never go wrong with that one. I read it so often, but just the opposite there. Okay, and the Skull Ghost is, of course, Tony Portillo in his real life disguise, so to speak. Right, so let's get rid of that one. Now, the other roundup from the beginning of the week, which again is sort of looking back on the previous week. Big XR news from Farjo, Realware, and Glue. The XR world is building up hype for Apple's potential consumer-grade MR headset. Yeah, hype. We don't know yet. Meta is continuing to push Meta, of course. And, let me see. Twin Motion partner to provide support for AEC designers. Not quite sure. Architectural engineering construction tools, basically. A partnership developing them. KPMG grants Glue certificate. Why that is important, I'm not sure. That's got a short roundup, that one. Anyway, you find it. Pardon me. You'll find that at xrtoday.com, xrtoday.com. Let's dispose of that one. And okay. This is not working with the. This is BT. I don't think Business Today as opposed to British Telecom. Thank goodness. It doesn't work in reader mode, but basically it's we're talking about an interview they did at ZDedNet, which you can find separately actually. But Philip Rosedale, the founder of Second Life, calls for generative AI, and he says it's an alien intelligence lacking human reasoning. Well, that doesn't actually take much reasoning, to be honest. But anyway, it's sort of it's good to see. Regardless of the fact it's Philip, it's good to see them. A blog that is actually saying, sort of AI is the intelligence of the future, and it will build our world for us, and we won't need to do anything except sleep and eat. I think too much of don't worry, they're taking over kind of blogs. Okay, so that's you'll find this at Business Today but you might be better looking at ZDedNet for the longer article. BUSINEWSTODAY.IN. And moving on from that one. Okay. Oh, dystopia, never mind. We keep using the Black Mirror as an instruction manual. Okay, well, here we go again. This is Theo Priestley, who I follow. He's on Twitter and all over the place. Mastodon too. His blog here is at substack.com, and he's called Theology, which I think is a nice play on words, because I think religion is the last thing on his mind. If anything, he's highly critical of it. But he's ended up with a blog called Theology because I guess his name is Theo. Yeah, TheologieSubstack.com. I admitted that there is a Metaworld site there too. Finland has got one there. Quite a few people are opening up there. And Substack actually launched a thing called Notes this week. So everybody who's got a blog there also has a Notes account. And Notes, well, Elon Musk tried to ban it all for a couple of days, but got himself into a real mess. But some people say it could threaten Twitter. Others say, well, I don't know myself. You've got Tumblr, you've got all sorts of things that, in theory, could threaten Twitter, but none of them, or Twitter, however appalling it's got, does have this user base that is. I mean, I was in the beta of Twitter 18 years ago. That's a long time to build up a user base and actually have a platform that is no longer what it was ever meant to be in the first place. But You can't just start a new Twitter that's better than Twitter if you haven't got that kind of quantity of people already in it. Anyway, Theo here is theology.substack.com. He's talking about a dystopian future that is, well, he doesn't say it's already here, but he says we're already heading there. So I think in some ways we may be already here, but it's only one element in our lives, but it is one that is proving already to be rather scary, so much that governments are starting to, where they can, stop it being used. Especially the biggest threat apparently is one AI interpreting another AI and sending it on to another AI. It's like a small hill that becomes a cliff, and it's heading up into the realms of we don't know what. So anyway, using ChatGPT and generative AI to bring a dead person, whether a celebrity or a loved one, back to life, for example. This is something John Mayer has done. Will they bring back Steve Jobs? And will they introduce a hologram to go with his ChatGPT? What the hell? This is pure Black Mirror bullshit, and I really don't get where this is going. Okay, but interesting article actually, because Theo's always on the ball with absolutely everything going on and the implications of that too. So a good little blog there. Theology.substack.com. And again, all these links, of course, you'll find on my Twitter, so twitter.com/MalBurns. Okay, back to XR today, another roundup site, but this is a looking forward site, really, or post rather. Top metaverse events worth attending in 2023. Always good to have, good to know, etc., etc. Lava Virtual is the one that has just finished, which was over in Paris in France. It is one of the most impressive ones, as they say here. It's being in Europe, it doesn't really get, and foreign language, it doesn't really get quite the sort of attention. Same with some of the events in Italy, which is Skull Ghost territory. It's, but at least the press covers it here. Whether we actually get to see videos and stuff to relive the best things is yet to be seen. And of course, the almighty awe, because awe is awesome. Sorry.
By definition, right?
That comes on the last day of May and up to June the 22nd in Santa Clara, California, and of course online. They have a live feed of their main events there, and then they put recordings of their other events up afterwards. So plenty of video coverage of that, unless they've changed tactic this year. XR Expo is in Germany in June 15th. That's a month away now. Don't know much about that one, but always good that there's loads of these things coming online. Expo. Oh yeah, somebody wants to write a song, I suppose. Expo, la di da di da. Various locations. Never mind. Was this temptation there? Let's move on. SIGGRAPH, number 5. That's coming up in August in Los Angeles. That is a very big event, of course. Not just XR and the Metaverse, but they are a very dominant part of that conference these days. Yep. Augmented Enterprise Summit in October. There's also going to, hopefully, we won't know about this for another week or two, but we're hoping our plans for Hypergrid International Expo will be happening, taking place in October too, for Hypergrid people out there. Microsoft Ignite, will go wish. Give me the match, please. I'll ignite them. Bye-bye, Microsoft. Okay, well, it looks like by the holiday season next year, there won't be any more Microsoft. Somebody's going to ignite it in November. And, I mean, strategically, of course, it's about a week after Guy Fawkes night. So he does his thing, and then I guess they take all these explosives and stuff and take them over to Seattle or Redmond, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And then they put them under Microsoft. So that could be an exciting event. In fact, that might even compete with Burning Man. Really, igniting Microsoft. Can't you just wait, folks? Can't you just wait? And you can watch it all in HoloLens with Microsoft Mesh, apparently. Right, okay. Shut up me. xrtoday.com, xrtoday.com for that little post. Oh, mighty big post, really. Right. This is cute, actually. This is an article at TechCrunch. Researchers populated a tiny virtual town with AI. Um, well, it was always sweet about it, is what the, oh, hang on, this is, right, I don't know. Right, that's not, oh, hang on, let me do a toggle for the website. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. This didn't work in the reader mode, did it? Right. What would happen if you fill a virtual town with AIs and set them loose? Well, they apparently they brush their teeth and they're very nice to each other. But this unexciting outcome is good news for researchers who did it, since they wanted to produce a believable simulacra of human behavior, and they actually got just that. So then they talk about the paper describing the experiment and stuff. So maybe, dear old you over there at Bring Me Jig Me. Hey, where's the reader mode gone? It's gone away completely. Oh, I don't need it anyway. Yes, so maybe all is not bad news on the AI front, but who knows? Right. Unity, of course, along with the Unreal Engine, are the primary authoring software for virtual worlds, XR, and or you can movies even these days, it seems. Anyway, they've Unity's XR interaction kit. I think I mentioned this last week, actually, but given that Unity is so thoroughly used, version 2.3 of the interaction toolkit is a new standard for VR interaction. Basically, it means that when you're altering a world, you load all the assets you want. These days, they can be so many things. It's like a page makeup program for VR almost. I'm trying to think of what will be a good example, but yeah, I don't know. Let's say you have a character in there and you have its hand or something, and the toolkit would immediately be able to make it easy to program the movement of that hand. Presumably, it's a hand that will be coupled with your own hand in Helmetville, but whatever. So anyway, anything major that Unity releases normally pretty big news. You'll find this again at xrtoday.com, XRTODAY. You probably find more details if you simply Google Unity themselves and look for the interaction toolkit. But that's where you'll find the news link, so to speak. Right, remove that. Getting down here. Okay, some of the more artists like this is artstechnica.com, ARSTECHNICA.com, and they're talking about the mounting human and environmental costs of generative AI. Now, people have talked about this for a long while. They say, even people who don't know anything about it have sometimes asked me sort of, well, there's VR and all this stuff, and it's all on computers, and sure, you're not flying in aeroplanes and using up excess resources, but you still have to use the electricity. And then other people raise the fact that the computing itself, not on your home computer, but online, can, vast amounts of data are using vast amounts of energy in terms of electricity by and large, and how that electricity is generated and everything else. So planetary impacts, escalating financial costs, and labor exploitation all factor in the in the mix, should we say. Important stuff to read, really, in my opinion.
That's why the AI will make us into human batteries.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right. Okay, you better patent that so you can sell it while you're still around to sell it.
Or write a movie about it.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, AI will convert us into batteries, and then we can sell ourselves as the batteries to power our smartphones. Except that we won't be holding any smartphones.
Our bodies are terrible batteries.
Well, yeah, but we're quite good at being battered.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're living in war zones. Right. Pass on that one, I think. Interesting. Find us at arstechnica.com. Shortish article, but I think there's more of it. I think if you got to accept it, I think if one looks at the actual website, yeah, there's quite a lot more in the actual website here. A bit hard to see there, but diagrams and models and everything else. So yeah, if you want more, you need to go to the website for that. but quite a lot there to talk about. Okay. ArsTechnica.com, and remove that item. And right, magazine.artstation.com. Now, ArtStation is an art magazine, really, more than anything else. But they, like everything else, they have interesting articles now and again, and especially about VR and AR, where art is present, of course. Anyway, ArtStation have their VR and AR Week 2023. From April 17th, which is tomorrow, through to the end of the week, of course. And, I'm not quite sure where, like, North Kingdom Greenhouse and all this stuff. I mean, it's all, it's not, this isn't a real-life event in a particular place, although I think there may be a main part of it that's in real life somewhere. But mostly, you've got the augmented and virtual reality channel that they link to here. This is not actually YouTube, so if you want to follow any of this, you're going to have to get to ArtStation and then get to the channel about the week. And if I click on that, there you are. And it's pretty much the same at the moment as the post I was looking at first, but News Edge concept art. Basically, you've got a join here button for each event as it actually happens. So yeah, you'll find that at magazineartstation.com. And oh no, that's where we were in the first place. Oh, I love it when you click on links and they take you back to the first one. Right, okay, that's called a loop, that is. Anyway, that could be rather great, I think, actually. So do check that out, magazine.artstation.com. I'm sure if you go to artstation.com, that will be all you need for a major week like that. Okay, so remove that item, and final webpage item now. So gosh golly. Right, Pico Interactive have unveiled a G3 VR headset, and once again, it's approached, somewhere between headset and helmet, really. I think it's just too much like the run-of-the-mill stuff from other people, including ones branded with 4-letter words. So Pico Interactive, the reviews of their headsets have always been very good, and this one's they previewed this week in France at Lava Virtual. It's a successor to the Pico G2, and it's targeting business users in sectors such as education, healthcare, marketing and training, and etc. 6 gig of RAM, 128 of storage. Snapdragon processor. It sounds, it sounds like what it is. It says there's a computer in itself, so to speak. Apparently, it's going to cost you €399, which seems to me, I can never quite remember the euros to dollars thing these days, or euros to the pounds here for that matter. But I think
kind of close. Yeah.
Yeah, I think euro €399 is pretty good. Good price.
Competitive price.
But I think that is for the pre-orders. Starting on April 12th, which is a couple of days ago now. This little review tells you a little about what it is and what it offers. And you can find this link at virtualrealitytimes.com. I'm not going to read this one out, unless it's anyway. Virtualrealitytimes.com, but, and this is a big but, as they used to say, it's all one word. It's squashed. Of course it is. It's the web. Virtual Reality Times, no spaces.com, and you can read all about that one there. So remove that. I've got a whole load of other things here that are for something else, but I'm just going to scroll down them all quickly to make sure I haven't accidentally got any for this program hidden away. Don't think there was any new Voices of VR this week. Let's double check what we got there. April 3rd. Yeah, that was last week. So there's no new ones this week. I mean, he doesn't need to have a new one. It's going to take half a year to catch up with 1,000 or so he posted the week before last. Yeah. So yeah, that's all the usual stuff. Right, and we saw our pretty pictures and everything else. So one final thing to look at. We did start a bit late today anyway. So the fact that this is a bit shorter is quite good news in a way. Okay, I think I counted this up as about 15 minutes. I'm not quite sure, but I did say there was something that was on the haptic side. Well, it's all about your lips,
Yeah.
right? If you have a look at that. Hello. Oh, there we are. Come on, move it. Oh, there we are. I'm smacking my lips as I'm watching it. I need to go drink now. The sound effects are coming from the video, by the way.
Okay.
For what purpose? I'm not.
Feedback for the action.
Oh, for kissing, eh? Oh, no.
Hi, how is it going?
Definitely another thing I can't imagine too many people wearing until it becomes a much more aesthetical form factor, I think. There we go, so it's a guitarist, are they? The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm realizing that I do these lip movements anyway. It's a bit that hard to adjust to. Oh boy. Well, they're certainly not running short of things to promote it about, aren't they? What else can I do with this gadget? Well, you certainly can't play guitar very well, can you? That was a bit of a tinny. Oh, God, that sounds dangerous. Well. Oh, I see, GPS. And gears. Presumably the displays on his handlebar, not in his blindfold. Which he hasn't got. Yes. Change gear. Well. That brings a whole new meaning to the word motor mouse, doesn't it? And I think I'm gonna trademark a blog called Lip Service.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that already exists.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, curious stuff. Right, okay. We're going to finish with a couple of more. Well, actually, I'm going to start. Okay, this is about 4 minutes, and that will take us to the half hour, even though we started late. So I think I'll keep the other one for another week. This is from CNBC.com, so due credit to them. And it's all about what's happening in South Korea.
You've been saying South Korea is a strong market for the metaverse. Why is that? What does Korea have that others don't? And how is that actually moving the needle in terms of the financial metrics for the sandbox?
So we're seeing actually like the sandbox is really strong in Asia as a region, and it's being led essentially by Korea, Japan, and Hong Kong. In Korea, I just came back from Seoul a month ago. We had a partner day where we celebrated already 55 partners present across all the industries, of course, gaming, music, fashion, food, media, and culture. So in a way, Korea is making its way in the metaverse through K-pop culture, K-drama culture, K-movie culture. It's appealing to the world, and they have this great neighborhood on the map where, like, together, stronger, they are connected, they are developing rich content and experiences that leads to our community-driven engagement in Web3. They've already launched several experiences as part of a K season earlier this year, showing a great engagement. But they also have like a great creator community. We have partnered with more than 8 studios that are creating those experiences. A great education as well with 11 academies, and we know like Korea is one of the leading markets in terms of players who esports and those games like LOL or PUBG, and it's definitely something like virtual world MMORPGs has been growing up for such a long time. They are very familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, South Korea does have the really the tendency to adopt technological advances quite faster than other markets, and also not to mention it has been a strong bet for game world. But I wonder if Korea is ready in terms of regulations. Some have been pointing out that we don't really have the legal framework, and that can actually be a problem down the road, especially when it comes to aspects like privacy. How do you address that? Where do you stand on that? And are you talking to the regulators in the country?
So it's a very important point. Like, if you want to bring on millions of users, you need to ensure the safety and the framework that ensure that users can benefit from this new technology without like any specific concern for their data, specifically now they own it, and there's a potential of monetization behind. We are at the forefront of this decentralized virtual world. We are engaging in conversation in several countries, not only Korea, but as well in Japan, in Hong Kong. I believe that Sandbox has the right approach to like showcasing concrete use case of how that technology is being used and can benefit users, empowering creators and players, and with concrete tangible use case. Like, we're talking about like digital identity with your avatar. We're talking about connecting with your favorite artists, showing support to our charities and other positive impact, social impact, environmental impact causes as well through the metaverse. We have the chance indeed to interact with the public sector, government, ministries to hopefully share our stake, our position in the industry, and support full true digital ownership rights for the users. And as we are still very early on in this industry, that the fact that they listen to us to create the regulation that will make the whole industry Web3 thrive rather than inhibit it too early. We're just basically talking maybe 100 million users in Web3 still, whereas Web2 is over 1 billion users, as we know. And so it's great that we educate them. We have the chance to show what we do and how it's concretely impactful. And hopefully they will put in place a framework that support this innovation.
So thank you, CNBC, for that one. And yeah, well, move over Minecraft. It seems that it's all pixels of all their age, except, do they really exist? No. That's it for this week, folks. James, any comments?
You know, the lip interface is fascinating.
You're looking a bit pixelated on my screen.
Okay. I'm all pixels, Mal.
Sorry.
The lip interface is fascinating because it's you know, the density of nerves in the lips is very high, and so that device looked like it had maybe 5 zones for interface, but my goodness, it seems like you know, there'd be so much bandwidth there that it you know, I lost my thought because I'm punching buttons. it seems like it just has huge potential. And I was also thinking in Open Simulator, oftentimes we prefer text chat to voice. And so, make the lips do something, right? And then, of course, there's the sex industry. So it has
Well,
huge
yeah.
potential.
It's almost like that wasn't mentioned in the promo, although
Right,
that's
of
not
course
the
not.
first. That's normally the first thing that will sell something.
Right.
But they really did. What started as what looked like a very simple, bland video about somebody with something on his lips. So they covered so much. They had
Yeah.
him on a bike. They had him doing everything, playing guitars and all
Right,
this
right.
because he was going to have lip control.
Right. Of course, in guitars, that makes perfect sense. Foot switches are huge because your hands are busy. So,
Actually, I'm trying to imagine how one would use your lips to do a wah-wah pedal.
it's definitely possible. Yeah.
I presume it would be possible. I'm just trying to imagine it first. While I was watching that clip, my lips were moving.
Right.
And I suddenly realized that those are actually movements I do automatically anyway.
Mhm.
I snap my lips. You do it after you eat. You have
Right,
to have a sip
right.
of a drink. It's sort of, it's quite natural. It just looks silly when you're wearing the thing in front of a camera. But you're right. Hopefully, I mean, potentially.
Has potential. Right.
Yeah, it's got a lot of potential because it's so innocuous too. I mean, if you could apply it something like the way people apply lipstick, for example, obviously a layer you stick on kind of thing rather than paint on, but who knows?
Oh, but
Smart
riding the
pe-
metro,
smart-
I've horrific visions of riding the metro.
yeah, smart,
Everybody moving their lips.
yeah, and smart lipstick. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we better call it quits here.
Right.
We're within our hour, but we have another show coming up, and we're on a very tight deadline for it this week because we have to have it finished within the hour. So we better move. We better move, as they say. But thanks for that, James. Thanks to me and thanks to James for this show. Hope you all enjoyed it. I hope we brought you a bit of interesting news for the week. And we will be back, of course, same time, same place next week. And you find replays on the Malbone's Metaverse channel Malbone's Metaworld channel at YouTube, should you want them. So that's it from us. Have a good week. Stay safe, and it's a wrap.